Hello, and welcome back to Through the Monocle. Today we will be watching and reviewing The Black Cauldron from 1985. As always, I'm your host, Wet Hair McGee, and joining me it is Beardy McBearderson. How are you doing, Beardy?
I'm good. As the intro played, I realized why I don't normally. Why is my camera different? I don't know.
Because
Um,
it's weird.
yeah, I realized why I don't normally wear my earbuds for this because that was loud.
Yeah, it hit me like a truck too for some reason. As I said,
But I'm good. How are you? It also seems
I'm
higher. This
I'm
just
good.
seems
It's been a really good week, honestly. Like cannot complain about anything.
just good.
I am
Why is it low?
mentally well.
Sorry, I'm just realizing my camera. I feel like is off from what it normally is.
We've been in the green room for 15 minutes, and and now
Yes.
you're saying,
All right, that's good.
all right, it better be, dang it. Um, so today we're talking about the Black Cauldron. Now, the Black Cauldron is a much maligned Disney movie. I've never seen it. I've heard it's terrible. My family owns a copy of it on VHS. I actually haven't bothered to look it up and see what it's like Rotten Tomatoes and such is. I'm gonna do that real quick because I'm curious. Um, the Black Cauldron, Rotten Tomatoes, 57.48.
Yeah, that ain't great. That ain't great.
That's really not great for Disney. Um, this is 1985, so this movie almost ruined Disney.
Yeah,
Just
this
about
so
killed
this was
Disney.
just before our good old friend.
Our good old friend. What are you talking about?
I have blanking on the last movie we did, but this would have been about the movie before that because that was 89. This was
It was not.
85.
It was not directly before that, but it was pretty close.
Then it would have been like maybe a movie or two.
Yeah, maybe. I am getting ready to send a link of this to some people's because that seems like a thing we should do so people can show up. Um, yeah, um, we're gonna watch it. It's based on a book. I know that much, and Disney adapted like 8 books into one 80-minute movie.
Mm.
So you can imagine about how that went.
Yeah,
Um,
I could imagine. I have not seen
recognize
this movie either. I just know from what Grant's talked about it that it's and knowing from what we just saw from the Rotten Tomatoes, it ain't very highly reviewed.
no. This is the first Disney animated film that's not a musical. It does not contain any songs performed by characters nor in the background. Um,
Hmm.
this is supposedly the movie Disney tried to bury. Um,
Interesting.
apparently, there's a lot of deleted footage. Um, it didn't get a home video release till 1998. It was
Oh,
the first. It was the first. Well, you also got to think home video wasn't really a thing till like '94. Um,
still.
It was the first Walt Disney Pictures full-length animated movie to be filmed in widescreen format, as well as Super Technorama 70 widescreen 70 millimeter film process since Sleeping Beauty in 1959. Movies released in between involved matting of the top and bottom of the filmed images in order to make a widescreen image suitable for movie theaters. Um, let's see. This is the first Disney movie to have full closing credits with music, and the first to have any sort of closing credits since Alice in Wonderland in 1951, which only featured a voice cast despite it already appearing in the opening credits. Um, yeah.
I say we just go ahead and start this thing and see how bad it is.
Yeah. Tim Burton was apparently involved in this. Anyway,
Hmm.
uh, as always, we go on go. 3, 2, 1, go. And it didn't start.
You're cringe.
Ready? Three, 2, 1, go. This time it started.
Good. I was gonna go
I think I
anyways.
clicked out of my tab.
This will be the second movie I watched today
What was the first?
The first was The Big Short.
Oh, that's such a good movie.
It is. My accounting professor was talking about it in class yesterday. So I'm like, yeah, I'll watch it. It's a good movie.
Nice. I'll be honest. For some reason, I can't hear the movie.
Do you have it muted?
No, I have it coming through something else. All right, we're good now.
Okay. You didn't miss much.
No, I can read it. I've got subs on. This is kind of dark for a Disney movie. The production of this movie could be traced back to 1971 when Walt Disney Pictures purchased the screen rights to Lloyd Alexander's The Chronicle of Prydain. The movie took over 12 years to make, 5 years of actual production, and cost over $25 million. Over 1,000 different hues and colors were used, and 35 miles of film stock was utilized.
I was telling Dan about The Big Short, and he looked it up and went, "What is Steve Carell's hair?"
The Big Short's such a fun movie, though.
It is. His hair is awful, horrendous in the movie.
Oh, yeah. The sad thing is, it's a true story.
Yeah. Which they do a good job of in the one section at the end of the casino where they're like, yes, we've just bet so much money on the economy failing. He's like, yeah, and that means that people are going to lose their houses and their jobs, and it's going to go to crap.
Yep.
What's about you? The Black-Hearted Devil.
Whoa. This is interesting.
Yeah. This looks like a Walmart Peter Pan right here. We have Peter Pan at home. Peter Pan at home. Speaking of Walmart, is that where you got that jug of milk?
Yep. Great value. Chocolate milk is the same price as white milk. So always
better in every way.
Exactly. Hinwin.
Win. All I do is win no matter what.
Oh, I got free Funko Pops yesterday, and they made me happy.
Is that what that picture was?
Mm-hmm. They're
Nice.
$50 normally. GameStop had them on sale for $3.98 each. Buy one, get one free. And I had a $5 coupon. I walked out of there paying nothing. It is awesome. Dolben. I'm starting to see why this movie failed. It's just a lot.
It doesn't have any soul to it.
It certainly doesn't yet. Oh, it's a little pig.
You're not a warrior, kid.
Do we know he's a warrior?
Yeah, I'm a warrior.
Actually,
You're a narcissist? You're a sociopath? You're probably a psychopath. You're paranoid, sexist, and you make fun of the elderly. Those are just quirks!
Yeah, everything's loud in these earbuds, apparently.
I just hope that means my mic sounds normal and not loud. And for those of you wondering, I got a new microphone, and I'm quite happy about that.
Mm-hmm. So are my ears.
Whoa!
That was actually kind of a cool effect.
It was.
Well, no kids.
So the urban legend goes that this movie was a dud in the U.S., but it was incredibly popular in Japan, such that the guy that created The Legend of Zelda, whose name is Shigeru Miyamoto, I was thinking it was Miyamoto. He based a lot of the elements of Zelda on this movie.
That is
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
It is. Hinwin's a pig. Pigs are filthy animals.
The pig dirty.
You filthy animal.
Why is the pig like a cat?
Why is the cat like a pig?
No.
I'm adjusting this. So. How's that?
I still think that's a little loud.
I didn't adjust anything but the angle.
Yeah, still. Oh, it's almost like you were talking more directly into it, I guess.
Is that better now?
Maybe a little quiet. But then before, I don't know. Bring her inside so we can perform an exorcism.
Meet me inside. Meet me inside. This is a very not Disney movie. The pig has powers.
Powers? You must never reveal.
Except all these people who are watching this.
Yeah, except the 5 people that watched this movie. Team Rocket's blasting off again.
Why did the pig's eyes just get red? What's in this water?
He's a Sith. Use the Force, Luke.
I'm not sure that the Horned King is menacing.
Oh, I'm so scared.
This is like a very dark movie. Like it's just dim. Oh. I will say the animation on this is better than the animation on The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, the animation's actually not bad, and some of the effects have been pretty cool. Like that effect when he hit the deer and it like shook, and then it cut to like the deer's eyes looking back up at him.
I'm back.
I am Batman.
But why?
Why
Can
must
you
I
hear me?
hide in the cupboard, sir? Yeah, I can.
Okay, making sure.
You're a hairy wizard. Why is he? Never mind.
Then you are a very foolish lad.
Nay.
Make sure you eat dinner. Ah, you will. It's a heck of a pig, man. All you asked him to do was hide, and that's a lot less work. We ought to give it a try.
I was literally, all you got to do is hide.
That's a lot less work. We're on the same bandwagon.
We ought to give it a die.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Oh no. Anyways.
Do we think this is the Horned King?
No. I think it's Rudolph.
Yeah, the animation is really good on this. Like, whereas The Little Mermaid had like solid animation, but it had some issues. This is
It was
actually really solid,
1985.
which is weird because this is 4 years earlier.
Mm-hmm. When it was 1989. It's the song I was referencing, but just changed it to 85.
Yeah. All right. The management team at Walt Disney Productions changed during this movie's post-production in 1984. Jeffrey Katzenberg, then newly installed chairman of Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures Division, screened the nearly completed movie, and he was appalled by its darkness and graphic nature. He suggested editing the movie, and when producer Joe Hale protested, animated movies are typically not edited in post-production in the same way live-action movies are. Katzenberg responded by having the movie brought into an editing bay and editing it. Informed of what Katzenberg was doing, Michael Eisner, always hated and then newly installed CEO and chairman of Walt Disney Pictures, called Katzenberg and the editing room and convinced him to stop. Though he did what Eisner insisted, Katzenberg requested the movie be modified, and a compromise deal was reached. Katzenberg then delayed its scheduled Christmas 1984 release to July of 1985 so that the movie could be reworked. Had it not gone through many last-minute drastic changes, the movie would have held the distinction of being the only full-length animated movie, Disney animated movie, and the first movie released under the Walt Disney Pictures banner to be rated either PG-13 or R. After several months of hard work, the final cut ultimately received a PG rating from the MPAA, the first for a Disney movie and the only one until Dinosaur in 2000.
Because what, they were all G, probably?
Mm-hmm. This was nearly a PG-13 movie. No wonder people are going after the deleted scenes, right? Like, I'm curious to know.
Ole! Henwin? Bloody Henwin, where are you? Bloody. I'm the one that's going to get us in trouble for being British.
Cheerio, governor.
Got my bottle of water.
I got my bottle of water right here.
I've got a pen. I got it.
What the heck is that dog, and why does it look like Geppetto?
Why does it look like you?
I hate you.
Hair check. Oof. Ignore the hair check. This is why I keep the hat on.
I mean, seriously. Let's download this. I wasn't even there to see that. I'm downloading a picture.
Oh no. Come on, where's the apple? Uh-oh.
I mean, seriously. Is it not the same?
And the eyes even, like, it's all of it.
It's the same guy. Like, on the money.
Yeah. Let me turn my camera off for 1 second.
No.
I'm still here.
No. Smackings and whackings on his poor, tender head. This dog's annoying.
Did he say seen his pee? Or his pig?
Pig.
Okay.
Fun fact for you. This is the first Disney animated theatrical movie to receive a PG rating. And it had been the only one to have that rating until the Nightmare Before Christmas and Dinosaur. It had to be edited twice to avoid being released with a PG-13 rating or an R rating. Ironically, it was given a U rating in the UK. That was their equivalent of a G rating, uncut. So they edited it twice to avoid getting an R. But even before that, the UK is like, it's pretty good. This was the first full-length Disney movie to incorporate computer graphics in its animation. 1985. In 2016, Walt Disney Pictures once again bought the movie rights to the books this was based on. They may intend to make more.
Why would they make more of this crap? Well,
It's actually pretty good. Also, why is your camera off?
I had to blow my nose. So I had my earbuds still plugged in. I was in my bathroom blowing my nose. So I was still listening.
Gosh.
I have to
Actually,
go.
not that bad. No!
Howard the Duck. Shia LaBeouf. Nope. Never.
Oh yeah, you can see the CGI. That's actually kind of cool.
It's not bad at all.
1985 CG?
Mm-hmm.
Really not bad. Looks better than modern Marvel. So supposedly there's a scene that was cut and left like a big old jump in the soundtrack. And so like there was part of it cut out, like somebody got mauled in the scene. There were also in test screenings, mothers were leaving with wailing children, which is kind of rough. Yikes. Actually don't mind this movie so far. I will say it probably would have been better if it had decided, like, okay, do we want to be a dark R-rated fantasy movie or do we want to be a PG Disney movie? Right? Like, there's no good mix if you water it down.
Yeah.
That's one ugly dude. And the stuff on screen's not exactly appetizing. What the crud is this in a Disney movie?
Boom. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Insert mysterious noises here.
I really do not mind a Disney fantasy animated movie. Like, I think it's kind of cool.
I mean, it's not bad so far. I mean, some of the dialogue has been kind of stale in my opinion, but like it sounds, some of it sounds like George Lucas dialogue.
I don't like sand. It's
But
rough. It's coarse.
so far,
and the
it's really
horned
not that
king is
bad.
everywhere. No.
Like so far, it's not a 50.
Again, I feel like the Rotten Tomatoes would be higher if they hadn't cut stuff, right? The prisoner.
I'm just a poor boy.
How'd they get the pig?
They've had the pig. The pig ran off.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, sire. We're gonna make you some bacon. Into
This
some
is
bacon.
very dark.
No.
More than like Sleeping Beauty, which is also very dark. You got a broom, dipstick. What? All I'm saying is if we do this in live action as the Horned King.
No, if you do this in live action, there's a very obvious pick for who this person should be played by.
Who?
Do you not? Crap, what's his name? Am I spelling his name wrong?
Yikes. Yikes. We're going to execute a pig. French
Yeah.
Revolution style.
For treason.
Yeah.
Look, sire, it's working. Palpatine. I can't think of how you say his last name. Ian. Yeah. Like he seems like an obvious pick.
I can see that. Oh, good Lord.
What?
Some of the deleted animations from this are utterly terrifying. They had 12 minutes of deleted footage.
Hmm.
this. I'm assuming this is real. I'm pulling this from a YouTube video. Maybe this is here. Let's just download this one. Like just some utterly terrifying stuff. I'm gonna upload one of these. This will be from a later scene, but it got cut out. You see that?
What in the world is that thing?
That is a Disney movie. Like 12 minutes of horrifying footage, supposedly.
Hmm.
I won't fail you, Dalvin. Immediately proceeds to fail Dalvin.
Yeah.
She's a big Rats fan. Modern dating. Modern dating. Are you a lord or a warrior? Nah, man. I'm an assistant pig keeper.
Yep.
Come on, man. Like at least try a little bit. I don't like rats. They're evil. They're coarse. They get chased by a mythical laser pointer. I really don't mind this movie. Nah. It's a Disney movie. Why would I be all right? Just once, I want to see a Disney movie where the hero dies.
Like, instead of Snow White
Getting Prince Charming just like lays it down. He's just like, I'm outta here.
What, Grant?
You know what I mean. Bobby Petrino style. Gosh.
I'm just gonna act like I didn't hear you.
Yeah, that's probably smart. That's probably smart. He'll reward me for this. All I'm saying is that probably roll better if those circles were better circles. What the crud? This is very dark. Like, I can't think of another Disney movie I've seen a skull in.
I don't know, actually. Where did you get that sword, sire?
Bro stole it from a corpse. I like the roughness of the drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that dude seems positively stupid. Quote Taylor Swift. I shall sing of your dastardly deed. It was a cruel summer. They were tennis courts. Yeah, Grant. Why do you... Oh, good gosh. If I had a nickel for every time we got a close up of a skeleton in a Disney movie, I'd have a nickel. Alanwe. Don't you know where you are? Pig Boy has escaped. You've heard of Fallout's Pip Boy. I introduced you to Pip Boy. Dude, you just stole the sword from a corpse. Well, now they're after your girlfriend, man. Good job. Modern dating. Man fumbles the sword. Now they're after his girlfriend. Ah! If I had a nickel for every time I've been jump scared in classic Disney animation, I'd have a nickel. Isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened. What in the George Lucas is that? Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I would love to see them do this as like a five episode series. Do each episode an hour in this style of animation. It'd be dope.
Mm-hmm.
Man, stop swinging your sword around before you cut your head off. No.
Are you insane in the membrane?
Yes. Yes, he is. I'm gonna get us out of here. How? I've got a sword.
How? Oh.
Are you a lord or a warrior? Nah, I'm just a pig guy with a sword. Jump, man. No more wine for you. Another thing I don't remember in a lot of Disney movies is like hand-to-hand combat. Like, I mean, Peter Pan has a little bit of it, right? Because pirates. Like,
Mhm.
not a lot of hand-to-hand combat in Disney,
Yeah, not much.
especially not old Disney. Whoa, man. Get your girl. Use the sword, Tarn.
Use the force.
Put it in the sword, Terry.
Put it in reverse, Terry. Oh, lie.
Are we just really not going to help the minstrel? Why didn't you help me when you had the magic sword? Instead, you left me with the tramp from Lady and the Tramp. Me going to approach pretty much anything. Also, modern dating. I always get blamed for this. Of the pig. Oh. Not the pig. It's he's... This dude's just Jar Jar. Pre-Jar Jar Jar Jar. Except he's not quite as annoying. Nothing like a little self-strangulation in a Disney movie. The what nows?
Croissants.
Would you like a croissant to follow that boy? I don't mind this movie. Like, thus far, it's pretty good. Again, jump scares in Disney movies aside, it's pretty good.
It's fine. It's not bad. Like,
I feel like it gets better too, because I mean, we're only 40 minutes into it, halfway. Maybe you should change your name from Fluter Flam. I'm not really sure what deed you sing up here. She sewed up my pants. I was in a trance. Now let's go fight the king. Your magic sword did, man. All money.
not just the men, but the women and the children.
What does a
too.
girl know about swords anyway?
How dare you?
Greta Thunberg in a Disney movie?
Like, I just said the quote. You're the one that went out there on a limb thinking that's who I was talking about.
Roughly 40 years before Greta Thunberg was born? She's
That math
nothing
ain't-
but a fetus.
That math ain't add up.
That ad ain't mathing.
Mm-hmm. That, man. I gotta lock in.
Flu to flu.
We'll
I want
find
to
your
make a
pig,
joke, and I can't decide if it's good or bad.
If what?
I can't decide if my joke's good enough to make.
It's probably not. Mada.
Mata. All I'm saying is, if you're looking for your pig, head down to the local Walmart. You'll find 4.
Yeah, especially here in Owens Crossroads.
Good Lord, yeah. Up here we go whale watching at Walmart.
Yeah. Not that there's a Walmart in Owens Crossroads, but
Grant, you just doxed yourself, man.
oh no. Anyways, I don't care. Nobody's here. Nobody's gonna hear that ever.
Nobody has been here, which is weird.
Yeah.
Like usually, like at least one person will like pop in. Geppetto's like, it's too big anyway.
Or you're letting your girl get hit on by a little animal. Log in.
This is what's hitting on his girl.
Mhm.
Wait a minute.
Wait just a minute.
He just might.
He said, "Pretty lady, I do."
Pretty lady, come too, he said. Not this Gurgi. Yeah, this is definitely not a 50-something split thus far. Uh.
Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
How many people does it take to get pulled into a whirlpool? All of them.
Sire, Mr. Stark, I don't feel so good.
That's a remarkably good impression. Grant for Gurgi 2.0 confirmed. Mr. Stark.
Mm.
Why are the fairies toddlers? Me eat a box of donuts.
Me fat.
I fixed that. Hmm. Actually, darling is
Good afternoon, Mr.
What movie?
Sire.
Mr. and Mrs. Darling. Is that Mary Poppins?
I don't know.
No, George Darling, Peter Pan.
George Bush?
9/11. What?
Okay.
Yes. Always.
Look, it's little Santa.
The pig? Did she introduce herself?
Fetcheth the pig.
She- Have you ever seen the movie Holes?
No.
I'm gonna censor the quote. At one point, this kid goes, "I'm tired of digging holes, Grandpa. That's too dang bad." And I'm getting that's too dang bad vibes from Dolly. That's too dang bad.
Oh, I just really. There's a they just released the bracket for the first open qualifier for the RLCS. And there's a team that's 3 like YouTubers, one of which is a retired pro, and their names are Chief Beef, Leth, and Jamaican Coconut.
That's what she said.
Their team's name is Beef's Leth Nut.
Sometimes the elements get the best of them. The older penguins know that it's just a matter of time before they call out,
I'm freezing my nuts off.
I need to rewatch that movie.
No. I have no desire to do that.
I don't need to do it for the podcast. I watch movies outside of that. If we could get to the Cauldron Fest and destroy it. But don't you see? I'm just saying, there's got to be a better name than the Horned King. Like, there are jokes. Not that I would make them. There are jokes. Turf burn is temporary. Glory is forever. I burned my hand up.
Oh.
Turf burn is temporary. Glory is forever.
But sire.
But sire, glory is like 30 seconds long. You like this mic better?
Yeah. Still some tuning could probably be done, but it's better.
We can figure out how to tune it later. You and I will hop on a call and figure that out. It might just be positioning. I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure exactly where the directly
Position.
I can't tell if it's the sides or if it's the top.
I'm not sure.
Is this louder? Or is this louder?
Do it again.
Is this louder? Or is this louder?
I think it's the same.
Okay. So it's
If it's different, I feel like the side might have been a tad bit louder, but it might also be in my head trying to figure out if one's louder and trying to make one louder.
fair enough. But it's got a pull handle. It's probably just sitting there waiting to be found. Whoa. You know, I talk about not seeing a lot of skeletons in Disney movies. Coco was kind of all skeletons. Really? We've seen all this, and the frogs are what scares the crap out of you?
Behold, master.
All right, we're looking for cauldrons of different colors. Yikes. Looks like half the girls up here.
You're not wrong.
Jeez.
You said it.
No, I was laughing at the nice and tender thing. Not really. What the crap is this? You don't mind if I pluck your arm? I'm not sure that's a Disney movie scene. Most of the time, it's the purple ones they're using. No. This is just the scene from Star Wars where Luke's like, or the one where they're training. I can't remember if Luke did that or not, to be honest. Where they're training with the little helmet on, so they can't say anything.
Mm.
Point, don't you see? Both. If it was a normal Disney movie, that would have been a song. Well, one of you was asking to pluck the harp.
Shot through the heart.
It's our only chance. It's our only chance. Or you could not be. I feel like our dude just got snookered. Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Hmm. I really do not mind this movie. I don't see the hate. It's fine. I actually don't mind the tone or anything. Like if you take us okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. If you take aside that it's a Disney movie, this is a really good movie. It just is not what you expect from Disney. You
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
But how? I was brave.
Yikes.
Well, there you go.
Oh, that's a lot of damage!
An assistant to the pig keeper. Wonderful. I really don't understand the hate of this movie.
Look, sire.
Hepatitis, see you later. Sure would be nice to have a sword right about now, wouldn't it? Well, fortunately, Gergie just said, gone forever. Aaron Hernandez. This is right creepy. I've ignored you. Hmm. Why is his opening line sound like your aunt meeting you at like a Christmas party? My, such a brave and handsome little fella. So this is the scene that got heavily cut down because people were leaving theaters screaming. Good gosh. I can see why. This is very much not a Disney movie.
Yeah.
It's great, but it's very not Disney. Uh Hey, look, it's Geppetto the dog. Now back to terrible zombie things. That's a lot. So supposedly a lot of this was cut because it was freaking kids out. I love it though. Like it is quite well done.
It's not bad, yeah.
No, like I don't have a problem with it at all. I do think that if you made it R rated, it'd be better, but that's just me and it would have made less money. Or maybe more money, right? Like there's a market for an R rated Disney animation. To be honest, I didn't really plan it to end like much of nothing. Good gosh. What are you doing? Dead. They're dead.
Look, sire.
I think this is really good. But Taran, don't send me back to the kitchen. I can help. I can put a soup on in the cauldron.
He said, "Don't send me back to the kitchen," and then said, "I can cook."
Well, because the cauldron's right there. So Gurgi has sacrificed himself, right? Like I didn't.
Yeah,
listen
Gurgi went wee.
Gurgi, go.
I went skydiving.
I went where there's no surviving. I drove headlong to a cauldron to try to stop the evil too. That is terrifying.
Harry Potter.
Good Lord. This is definitely not for children. Like PG-13 would have made a better movie. Good Lord. I kind of want to read the books now. No, but Perry the Platypus!
It's like Mace Windu getting
Defenestrated.
yeah.
He ain't gone, is he? Nope. Nope, he ain't. Not with 12 minutes to go in the movie, he ain't gone.
From the top rope. Saya from the top rope.
Whoa! I actually really like this movie.
Jump.
You know what's really weird?
What?
This movie has CGI 7 or 8 years before they invent the VHS.
The VHS was invented in 1971.
Okay, let me rephrase that. 7 or 8 years before they start using the VHS. For like home video. Home video didn't really come around for a long time, especially Disney home video.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some of them know about like the general stuff, but
really like this movie. I definitely do not understand the 50-something split. Huh.
You're also wrong about whatever you saw in the 90s because it was in the 70s and 80s when it started being popular. Because I just looked it up.
Walt Disney Home Video started all right. Technically, they released a few films in 1980. So the 80s is when they started kind of doing that, but it's mostly like live action. Their animated classics didn't really hit until well into the 90s.
Disney specifically, but VHS was invented in
Right.
the 70s.
I'm talking Disney, and that's part of my that's partly my fault. I will also say VHS, Disney VHS at the time was $60 a movie in the 80s. It was not designed to actually be bought. It was designed to be bought by like a Blockbuster and then rented.
That's ridiculous. You say I'm a pig boy?
Mm-hmm.
Hee.
Reverse psychology always works on the women. From the top rope. It's Gertie.
Uh-oh, Gurgi's evolving.
What does Gertie evolve into?
Jose Jalapeno on a stick.
Well, there's the body of Gertie. This really did take a turn for the worse. I told my dad, I'm like, I think this is remarkably good. And he's like, I didn't like it. I'm like, why?
Poor Gurgi. He's probably still alive, isn't he? He's probably just asleep. Oh, humanity.
Oh. Gertie. Somebody do CPR on the dog. He'll never be a real boy now. He's alive.
He's alive.
Fluter flew.
Fluter.
Look, touch me. He says while being held up like Simba. Whoa! And neither one of them is in an eternal slumber. I really don't mind this movie. So the deal with the editing is it's some of the henchmen melt and turn to bones, which is what gets what gets cut. It's interesting. All right.
I just thought it was a fun idea for you to do for something entirely unrelated to the podcast I'll tell you about after.
All right. Well,
But,
I suppose I should do this. Hello, and welcome to Through the Monocle. Today we will be reviewing the Black Cauldron. As always, I'm your host, Gurgi. And joining me today, it is the slightly less annoying version of me. It is Grant Skillen. How you doing, Grant?
Saya, I don't feel so good.
All right. So we just...
Please don't do that ever again. Please.
Okay, sire. So we just watched what I don't think is going too far to call the single most hated Disney movie probably ever. Like,
yeah, it ain't good. It ain't good. And I'm saying that specifically in terms of how people have rated it, because I already know Grant's thoughts about it. Mine are a little different than Grant's, but like, I don't know if you have the Rotten Tomatoes pulled up still, but it's like a 50-50 basically.
I just pulled it up. It's 57 critic, 48 audience.
Yeah. So yeah, basically 50-50.
They say it's half baked. That's the thing I'm saying. People say it's only half a story. It's underdeveloped. And I will say, I will throw this out. It does kind of end a little
weirdly.
Suddenly. Yeah. Not weirdly. It just is over.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
But I don't know that it's a 50-50 split.
I'd say that's a tad low. I know you're going to disagree with that more probably than I do, but...
I mean, I'm not going to tell you it's the best Disney movie ever.
Oh, yeah. No, I know you're not going to argue that by any means, but...
I will say I enjoyed all the upbeat songs written in the style of sea shanties from the 1850s.
Yeah, and that's one thing about this movie. This was the first Disney animated film that's not a musical. It doesn't contain any songs performed by the characters, like neither in the movie or like as a background song.
Yeah, there's like nothing.
Just nothing.
It's not like it's Robin Hood, Oodalali, Galley, What a Day, where they're not really singing all that much, but like there's stuff. Yeah, no, there's nothing. There is a soundtrack which skips when they start censoring the movie, which I didn't actually notice, but I read about. This movie's very dark.
It is. It is not. When you think of a Disney animated movie, you think of all the princess movies. You think of these cute, nice movies, whatever. This ain't that.
This movie's very grungy.
Yeah.
I will say it's dark and it's gruesome, and like the deleted stuff from it is worse. Like characters melting into skeletons and that sort of thing that like supposedly cause families to walk out of test screenings. But it's like surprisingly good for being so dark. Like, if you didn't tell me it was a Disney movie, if I didn't walk in having watched Robin Hood and The Little Mermaid in the last 2 weeks, and you told me we're going to sit down and watch this, and I didn't see the Walt Disney animation stuff like roll through, I don't have a problem with how dark it is.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's particularly great either.
Oh no, it's definitely missing some stuff.
Yeah, it's unique, like we were saying, in that it's dark, but it's also not like you think this is obviously better than a 50, what was it, a 57-48?
Yeah, it's
But it's
definitely
not
not a
it's not a
57-48.
90. It's not a 90
No, but I
by any
wonder if it
means.
would have been. So they cut 12 minutes of footage. My
Mm-hmm.
issue with the movie, and it seems like most critics' issues with the movie, is it is missing something. It feels sort of half baked, right? Like the movie, like before we don't fight the Horned King. The Horned King gets consumed by the cauldron.
Yeah.
I feel like there was more there.
There had to be, because you don't fight the villain. The villain just gets taken out by this mythical cauldron that's just kind of been there.
Which, I mean, on one sense, it does make Gurgi's sacrifice more important. So maybe that was always the intention. But like it seemed like, especially when Taran was laying there on the ground, not being sucked up by the cauldron, it seemed like there was something that like there's an interstitial, right? Somewhere between there and the end. Like I'd love to know what was cut. But
And-
speaking of some of the cut stuff, images, and credit to the art of Lost and Canceled Media on Twitter. Like this is a cut image. This is the progression of, so like when the guard gets trampled, that is the progression that would happen. And I can see why that got cut. This is like what it would have looked like in actual animation. It's a lot. And there was some stuff in here. I'm like, that's a lot. But it's like, again, if I don't go in expecting Disney animation, I think it's really good.
I don't know that I would go that far. I mean, the joke I made, and I'll put it in a funny way here, is it sounds like the dialogue was written in a galaxy far, far away.
It does. A lot of it does.
A lot of the conversation to me just ain't quite there.
No, I can agree with that. I will say Disney animation and dialogue are usually not like super simpatico.
But feels
so I guess
particularly though, I feel like
it did. I'm not saying I think it's great as a movie if you get rid of the Disney. I'm saying I think the stuff that they swung for here that missed because it was Disney, the themes and the darkness that they had to then cut out of the movie. I feel like if you didn't tell me it was Disney, I'd like the movie. Like I feel like it would work a lot better.
probably, but it would be interesting to see what they cut out, because like you said, I agree. It feels like you said, you don't fight the villain at all. Like he's there, he's a threat, but you don't actively actually just fight the villain, which I feel like is either a misstep or it's like you were saying, it got edited out. But even then, like in the movies we've watched, they've actually fought the villain. So it just doesn't make sense. Like I don't get it. It might have been cut out. I don't know. Because the cauldron, like you're saying, the sacrifice is more meaningful because of that. But like, I don't even have a problem with the fact that the cauldron is what takes him out. But it just like, if it does that after a bunch of fighting, it feels better.
All right, I'm gonna throw this out. I'm reading this from the IMDb. Many of the cutscenes involve the undead Cauldron-born who are used as the Horned King's army in the final act of the film. While most of the scenes were seamlessly removed from the film, one particular cut involving a Cauldron-born warrior killing a person by decapitating his neck and another one killing another person by decapitating his torso, which is not decapitation, by cutting him in half at the torso, created a rather recognizable lapse because the removal of the scene clumsily creates a jump in the film soundtrack. Other deleted scenes include many scenes of graphic violence, such as ones where Taran fights his way out of the Horned King's palace with the magic sword Durnwin, and shots of Princess Alanwi wearing ripped garments as she's hanging for her life with Taran and Fluter Flam. Whole sequences involving the world of the fair folk, scenes of the Horned King with a flowing cloak, one scene featuring one of the king's henchmen being mauled by one of the Cauldron-born warriors, which causes him to form horrifically detailed lacerations and boils, as seen here. Before he rots away to become one of the Cauldron-born warriors himself. A couple of animated cells of that particular scene can now actually be found on the internet. In a more action-oriented, dramatic, and intense climactic fight scene between Turin and the Horned King before the latter is sucked into the cauldron. So they cut out the final battle.
Yeah. So I think that helps to show. I feel like the biggest problem with this movie is it wasn't a Disney movie. The new CEO came in and was like, I want it to be a Disney movie. So cut out the stuff that made it unique and made it better to try to make it more like a Disney movie, and then lost a lot because of it.
I've heard this story before, Grant. Like, let's see, didn't that happen to like a Justice League movie, and then like a Star Wars movie, and then like another Star Wars movie, and then like a Batman? Like, it happens a lot.
The Zack Snyder's Justice League is way too long. I'm never watching that.
We're gonna watch it on the show.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
I will conveniently have something the day we're gonna record.
We can watch it. We can watch it in parts. It is separated into 6 parts. We can watch it half and half. Like, we can do an intermission. Which was never gonna be 4 hours until they. That's a whole other story. We'll have to have Taylor, who's actually met Zack Snyder, come on and watch it with us.
I'll just joking. Like, I'll conveniently find something to do that day instead.
Fair enough. But yeah, so
I need to go walk the cat.
You're like my grandparents. Whenever like they come up and stay with us for a couple of days, they always leave to go feed the dog. They don't have a dog. But that's what they do. But no, like, my biggest issue is how quickly it ends. Mm-hmm. So if they cut 12 minutes, if there's a fight scene there, if it is an R-rated movie or a PG-13 movie, like, you know what? If you want to censor down the gratuitousness of like maybe this, like, I get it. Mm-hmm. If you're Jeffrey Katzenberg, I get it. Hey, I don't want to take my toddler to that either. I wouldn't take my toddler to this movie. You'd be stupid too. Yeah. So I guess the way I look at it is it's a good movie that, if it was not a Disney movie,
would have been better.
Would have been really good.
It would have been what they wanted it to be, but because it was a Disney movie and the people above them were like, we want to make it a Disney movie.
And I don't blame them either, though, right?
Yeah. Like, you can't really blame. Yeah, you can't blame them, because if you're Disney, you go, we don't want to put out an R-rated animated movie.
We don't want to spend $25 million on a movie no one's going to see because it's going to traumatize their children.
Yeah. Like, but there's not necessarily a bad guy here. It's just, you made this movie, then you cut the stuff that's what made the movie unique, and then you get left with sort of this okay-ish movie.
So here's my question for you, Grant.
Mm-hmm.
If you're Disney,
mm-hmm.
you have the fully feature-finished film, presumably sitting in a vault somewhere. Because Disney takes a really good historical record.
In the Disney content vault?
Yeah. Well, no, that's actually a real thing.
I'm making a joke about Destiny, but continue.
I know you are, but that's actually a real thing. That's why I know so much about Disney Home Video. They would release films for $60 each, and then they'd only release a certain number, and then they'd pull them. And like, there were only certain amounts or certain movies that were allowed to be shown on the Disney Channel. There's like a whole other thing about that. That's like, we could really dive deep. I love myself some Disney history. But where I'm going with this is, if you're Disney, presumably because you keep very good record of everything except for the fact that Walt Disney was probably a Nazi. Other than that, you keep really good record of everything.
Lock in. Yeah.
I'm saying that because I've read that, but I'm not sure how true that is, so Disney, don't sue me. But you keep really good record of everything. Walt Disney wasn't a Nazi. That's a joke. He was very pro-America. I'm just screwing around and besmirching the name of Walter Elias Disney.
Grinch just pulling at Aaron Rodgers, but continue.
I am pulling at Aaron Rodgers. That's exactly what this is. Walt Disney to the island.
No.
That's terrible. Anyway, where I'm going, Disney makes a really good historical record.
Yeah.
They keep all this stuff. You've
Yeah.
got the finished film.
Yep.
You also have a platform that needs content.
Yep.
I know you want to forget about this movie because it flopped and it scarred kids and it nearly killed your brand.
Yep.
But if there's a better version of it out there, why not? Like, what's it going to do now?
I don't know. It was a flop. I mean, it made $21 million on a $44 million budget.
Right, because it was not good. Like that.
Mhm.
So the reason this movie
I don't
flopped
know.
is it was not a Disney movie you could take your kids to. It was not edgy enough to get the teenage audience in.
Like we said, the problem with this movie is that it was a Disney movie, because the fact that it was a Disney movie then led to the changes that made it what it became.
It got itself caught in between being really good either way. Like it would have
It's like this in between hanging there. Like, I don't know exactly what I am, but it's not what I could have been either way.
Right, like if it had been produced as as the Disneyfied version, it sort of became, it probably would have been pretty good, right? Because you can still do that final fight scene.
If it had started as a Disneyfied, yeah.
If it had not been edited into oblivion, it would have been pretty. I feel confident enough in what I've seen to say if it hadn't been edited, it probably would have been really good.
Yeah.
So why not? The damage has already been done. At this point, why not release the full thing?
I don't know.
If I'm Disney, I'm sitting here, I'm releasing the full thing. Because, it's a good movie. Why not let it see the light of day?
It's an okay movie that could be good with the extra scenes.
Right, but where I'm operating from it is a good movie that suffers from not having those extra scenes.
Yeah, and it's funny because you were talking about how they were it was PG-13 and not R, but then it would have been a PG movie in the UK before, which I find kind of hilarious.
It would have been rated G in the UK, but it would have been R rated here.
Yeah,
because the UK is more attuned to fantasy violence, I think. Like, that's the thing. Like, as gruesome as this is, as scary as that is, it's not too uncommon for a fantasy movie, and I feel like you would know what you're getting yourself into. The problem, again, is I'm gonna say it one more time. The problem is if you don't throw Walt Disney animation on it, you get people who know what they're walking into.
Mm-hmm.
When you throw Walt Disney animation on it and you release this, you get traumatized children.
Yeah.
So pick your poison, but you can't release this and expect it to do well. At this point, though, there is a good movie here. Release that, Disney. Grant, would you like to enlighten us?
Release the Cauldron cut. I don't know.
Release the Cauldron.
Sorry, what'd you say? I didn't hear.
Would you like to enlighten us with some more trivia before?
Let me pull it up again. You mentioned this one during the longer watch along, but there's an urban legend that despite the movie's failure in the U.S., it was popular in Japan. That it might have been this isn't on here, so I'm trying to think of the word.
Shigeru Miyamoto's.
Yeah.
It was the inspiration for the legend.
That's the word. Yeah, that's the big word. Tim Burton worked as a conceptual artist on this movie. He wanted
You can tell.
He wanted to incorporate minions of the Horned King that were akin to the face huggers from the Alien film franchise.
Again, this movie started production. All right, I'm gonna conspiracize. There is no way they spent $25 million on a movie and did not know what they were getting.
They spent $44 million.
They spent $25 million on the animation. I think some of the 44 is in marketing and that sort of thing. Maybe in post-production editing.
The budget was $44 million. I don't know how it was split up.
Okay, I thought it was. IMDb says 25, 44, whatever. There's no way they spent that amount of money on that and did not know what they were getting. So somewhere in this project, somebody greenlit PG-13 to R-rated movie, and then it got cut out. So with Tim Burton's face huggers, it kind of fits.
I mean, that's exactly what you said, though. The management team at Walt Disney changed during the movie's post-production. So the new chairman of the studio didn't like the idea of the PG-13 or R-rated movie, and he's the one. He even said, I think he went to go edit it himself when they told him no. So
they told him to stop cutting, and then they reached a compromise, which is this.
Yeah. So exactly what you said is what happened. It was Jeffrey Katzenberg was the one who did it.
What I'm saying is, it's as laughable as the face hugger thing sounds. It kind of would fit if you greenlit an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
Which
it was greenlit. It was greenlit. Then the management changed, and when the management changes, what the management wants also changes, and that's what dug this movie a 6-foot hole in the ground.
Exactly. It changed too late to change the film. They spent too much money on the movie to make an actual change, right? Like in this that we're seeing, we don't see anything that was added, right? It's only cut, and maybe some interstitials are added for continuity. But like it's cut so haphazardly that the score jumps. So like there's it was very much a rush job to fix it, to save the Disney brand, and it still nearly killed the Disney
fix.
Well, fix it in terms of, again, you can't release this movie as a Disney movie at PG-13. Though if you did, it would have made more money because it would have been better, and you would also fix that problem with people not knowing what they're walking into. It's like when Disney does anything sort of scary. You scare the pants off small children. There was a ride in Walt Disney World. Grant, have you been to Disney? I'm sure you have. Have you?
I have. It's been a while though.
Okay. Do you remember the Stitch ride at Magic Kingdom?
No.
Okay. So the Stitch ride is in Tomorrowland. If you walk into Tomorrowland through the gates, it's going to be just down and to the left. I think it's gone now. Don't hold me to that. I haven't been in a long time. It's a people mover ride. You sit on these circular things. I got off of it. I walked out an emergency exit because it scared the pants off of me when I was like 8 years old. And I loved Lilo and Stitch. You know why it scared the pants off of me?
Why?
Because it was an adaptation from Extraterrestrial, which was based initially in concept off of the Alien franchise. So Extraterrestrial, people mover ride, you ride in on these circles, these circular platforms. It's very creepy, like teleportation gone wrong, very weird. And you ride in on this, and there's this tube with this giant xenomorph kind of thing in it. And then all of a sudden the tube breaks, the xenomorph's gone, the lights go out. And these speakers, all you hear the thing walking around. Very much that you hear the thing walking around, it's spitting on you, like there's panic going, and the Stitch ride's literally that, but it was designed to be slightly funnier because it was Stitch. So instead of him spitting on you, he's like burping. It's still terrifying. But where I'm going with that is anytime Disney does something like that, you get traumatized kids because people don't know what they're walking into.
Oh, if it's an R-rated Disney movie, at that point, I feel like they would know.
That's what I'm saying. If it was PG-13 or R-rated, the rating lets you know. PG does not.
Yeah. PG
this
can
movie-
mean just about anything in this day.
It probably couldn't in 85. It still meant something in 85.
Only in England.
Yeah,
The
well,
UK.
you also got to think PG movies. PG-13 had only come out in 1984. Why did PG-13 get created? Temple of Doom is rated PG. Temple of Doom has somebody's heart get ripped out, like on
Shot
camera.
through the heart.
But there was nothing between PG and R, so they created PG-13. This movie would probably be a PG-13. I would say, like, it is
If it was,
is
if it was
pushing
released
PG.
now,
Yeah. But Temple of Doom doesn't suffer from that issue, right? It's not a Disney animation. You know what you're walking into.
yeah.
I'm a Disney nerd. I know my Disney.
Nerd.
Yeah.
If only you
Extraterrestrial
were.
was a great
If only
one.
you were a cultured nerd.
I need a monocle.
No.
That is horrible. Anyway, anyway,
I think we have reached the end of this episode.
I think this is a good conversation, though. Like, honestly, like, if you don't Disneyfy it, it's good. If you Disneyfy it earlier in production, it's good.
Mhm.
If you do this, it makes no money because you scare kids.
Yeah. If you do this, it's crap.
Yeah, I wouldn't say crap. It's still better than it's still better than 5748.
Yeah, like 60s, maybe 70, maybe.
I would personally give it like a 75 for at least the technical aspects of it. The CG, the animation, like that to me.
Yeah, the animation's good. The dialogue was written by Anakin Skywalker, so
Again, it's a Disney animated movie. I can excuse the animated dialogue.
Yeah.
Like I can be okay with that being off. The technical aspects of it from production boost the lackluster story for me. So like 75. But if that final climax, if literally the final fight scene's in there, it's an 85 or a 90.
yeah.
Assuming the final fight scene ends with less of a whimper.
Mm-hmm. It didn't. I wouldn't even say it ended badly. It just looks bad because he walks in the room and then just gets sucked in.
No, it ends badly. It is 80 minutes of build up to movie
Diddly
over.
squat.
Well, it's like if you build the tension for 70 minutes and then you just screen goes black.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like it just builds and builds and builds and then it just falls and that's it. Like there's no climactic fight. It just is very anticlimactic in its ending. And again, like the hero, it devalues the hero. Like Gurgi becomes the big hero with his sacrifice of throwing himself into the cauldron because the hero just kind of laid down and watched the villain die.
Yeah.
Yep. Still, though, it has the bones of a better movie, and if they would release the cut parts, it would be fantastic.
It'd be better.
I think. I think it would be at least an 85 or a 90 then. We'll never know unless Disney, grows a spine. But Bob Iger, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry I called Walt Disney a Nazi, and please release the R-rated cut of this movie. Bob, if you're our one viewer, please. But yeah, Grant, I'll end your misery before you go full on T-Pain on me. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this, pay us. Patreon.com/theculturednerd is where you can give us your money so we can afford to rent these movies and that sort of thing. It does cost us a lot. It costs us a lot of time. I bought a new microphone. That costs a lot of money. It costs a lot to keep the lights on, or in my case, off. Like, honestly, your donations mean the world to us, to the cultured nerd in general. Just thank you for your donations. If you want more of this kind of thing, if you want
I'm
to
once
listen to
again
us-
asking for your financial support.
Yeah. No, if you want more of this kind of thing, like if you want more of us pontificating, because I would love to. Like I love talking about this kind of
Oh, you love
like,
talking. That's right.
I love talking about like why movies don't make money, right? Like why things flop, what the audience expectations. I like that. If you want more of it, let us know in the comments. As always, I've been your host, Grant Ingram.
And I have been your co-host, Grant Skillen. Thank you to each of our Patreon supporters. Thank you to Jose for the logo and Taylor for the intro.
Yep. And thank you, the viewer, for joining us. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like, subscribe, do all the cool things. Tell your friends about us, because I feel like this was actually a pretty good episode, especially the review portion. I think was a lot of fun. If you want more of the Culture Nerd, scan that there on the left. And if you want more of us, you can check out our other show with a new episode out soon. I said that last week, but I've actually started editing now. You can scan that QR code there on the right to catch more of that. Next week, we'll be back with another Disney classic. I'll be honest, we don't have the malice of forethought for next week, but it'll be another Disney classic. So be sure to tune in. And yeah, as always, I've been Grant for Grant. We'll catch you next week.